Good morning, natural gas. It's Tuesday, May the 12th, 2026. I'm Tim Beggins, president of Elk Trading Company. And for the spot June contract, we're currently down. We're currently trading at 280, down 8.2 cents or 2.82%. Why the push lower? Well, we bounced off the 48 period exponential moving average. The RSI is trying to turn lower right now. What's going on? We've got maintenance still continuing on LNG facilities, and Golden Pass, surprisingly, has backed off as well. So let's take a look at the hourly chart. And here, as you can see, we're now below the daily pivot, which came in today at 286.60, and the RSI is now approaching oversold conditions. So we'll look to see if it stabilizes here in front of our first pivot support at 279.5 here, and then waffles back up to the pivot at 286.60. So let's take a look at what will happen here because we've got some interesting things on the weather and LNG fronts. Let's take a look at the front to back spreads. Well, it's pushing back out for Jan versus October right now, up 2.4 cents here to 147.90. RSI is trying to turn back up. So trying to get back into the channel again, but if it fails here, it will fail dramatically. Again, downside target here, 125. Let's take a look at the Novi through March strip. And of course, the talk here is super El Nino, which would push lower demand in the northern tier for winter in the US. So what's going on? Well, the RSI is not making new lows. So that's a bullish sign. So we're going to look to see if there's some more bargain hunting down here, right here at below 290, and see if it holds here above our recent low at 284.10. What's going on in ERCOT? Well, we've got a little bit more wind today, and we're going to get close to 39,000 of megawatts of renewable energy peaks out, but then slips along. We do have higher load again today. We're expected to get somewhere over 67,000 megawatts here in ERCOT, and that means natural gas is going to pick up some of that market share. Now, right now, under 25% right now, because solar is picking up most of the load here, over 30,000 megawatts. So that's pretty impressive for solar, but natural gas will pick up the slack here for wind later today. And here is what's going on with the LNG. This is Cheniere. This is Corpus Christi. And as you can see right now, total scheduled quantity, just over 1.76 BCF out of 2.75. So we're about 64% utilization for Corpus Christi. This isn't the only LNG facility that's doing maintenance. Cameron's doing maintenance. The Sabine Pass is doing some maintenance. Golden Pass is backed off here under 10% of total utilization. And so that means we've got only one LNG facility that's running near nameplate capacity. That's Plaquemines, actually over nameplate capacity, running about 104% of total capacity. What's going on with Golden Pass? Well, it backed off. It pushed all the way out to over a half a BCF of feed gas demand the other day, and now is down to half of that at 224,000 MMBTUs out of 2.6. So this is really not very good. We don't know what's going on here. They may have just found some problems, backed off some of the feed gas, trying to fix those solutions before the next ship arrives. And right now, again, we're at 224,000 MMBTUs. This is total capacity out of train one is up to 850,000 MMBTUs. Let's take a look at the Middle East, and this is the gas log Skagen here. It is moored at Las Ravans. So there were two vessels here yesterday, now only one for the moment. What else is going on? Let's take a look at the first vessel that loaded up at Golden Pass, discharged in Belgium, and is now making a beeline back toward the United States. It's now just off the coast of France and looks like it's heading back to the US. And what about our lovely Sea Eagle here? Sea Eagle is, again, off the coast of Cuba at this stage here, just clearing Cuba almost. And it looks like it may make a run for either Dominican Republic or parts of South America, which would be interesting to see. So we're going to keep a careful eye on this one in particular. What else is going on? Well, how about the weather? Let's hope you don't live in Phoenix, Arizona, because today is an extreme heat warning risk here. Temperatures 104 to 108. And this will just ease off a little bit over the next 10 days before it comes right back. So watch out here in the west, extreme heat warnings and ozone layer warnings from Denver all the way back to Phoenix and back to Southern California. So let's take a look at the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook. And as you can see, the above normal temperatures continue to push to the east. We're going to see this on our heat risk map here. And as you can see right now, the west is really still warmer than normal. This doesn't really show that extreme heat coming in yet. Let's take a look at the weather. And as you can see here, this is, let me pull back here for a second here. You're seeing that extreme heat in the west for right now. This pushes into Texas here with some 90s as we go through the forecast period, pushes into Florida, and then all the way up into the upper Midwest here, some warmer temperatures going forward in the forecast period. And then again, as we get late in the forecast period, we start to see some of those extreme temperatures coming back in to the southwest portion of the United States. And we're going to start seeing 107s, 108s again in this forecast period here. So let's take a look. And here it is. There's that extreme warm temperatures coming up from Mexico into the Central Valley of California with 100-degree temperatures. Phoenix 107, the border of California and Arizona 107, same thing in Southern California. So watch out. We've got some warm temperatures coming back in toward the forecast period. It is starting to feel like summer in parts of the United States. And let's take a look at that heat risk. Again, this is showing some of that moderate heat risk out here in parts of Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, Denver, all the way up to Idaho. And this is pushing east as we go through the forecast period. This comes into Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and pushes all the way out towards St. Louis. And then by Sunday, this is encompassing everything from Texas all the way back to Washington, D.C., and pushing up into New Jersey. So watch out here. Temperatures are starting to climb. And let's take a look at Europe. So in the forecast period here, as you can see going forward here, we get some cooler temperatures going forward, and that's really the 14th. And we keep going for the forecast period. Starts to warm up a little bit around the 24th here as we get through the end of the forecast period. That's good news for Europe. Needs some cooler temperatures, but not too hot, not too cold. And then we get, again, that's starts again all over the place. But that starts out cool right now before it gets warm. The EU is at 35.4% full. You can see Germany still under 28%. France doing a little better at 36%. Italy is the best at 53%. And here's Asia. Let's go through the forecast period here for Asia. It is starting to be a little bit warmer out there. Some cooler temperatures start to poke in for Mongolia, but it doesn't last very long. And then we start seeing some really, really warm temperatures here starting up May 24th. This is for the eastern provinces of China, really all of China, the Koreas, and Japan. So watch out. JKM prices are about to jump. And let's take a look. That continues all the way through the forecast period, keeping Japan very, very warm. So let's take a look at the U.S. We're about 14.1 gigawatts are offline. That's the same as yesterday. Only one nuclear power plant remains fully offline. That's Palisades. That's being recommissioned for AI data center usage. Fermi is coming back from its outage. It's currently right now at 97% down. So this is moving along steadily. We again bottom out in July all the way through September and begin the process all over again. And here's the Saharan air layer or dust. And as you can see, that large plume of dust is moving towards South America at this time. It is keeping away from the United States for now, but it will inhibit any development of storms in the Atlantic, the mid-Atlantic. So if you're going to get a storm, it has to be from Panama up back into the Bay of Campeche. And here's the warm temperatures. As you can see, the warmer temperatures are in the western part of the Pacific here off of Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, and then, of course, below Cuba. So relatively speaking, the Caribbean is not too bad. It's still in the upper 70s to 80s. That's okay. But if we're going to get any storm, it has to form here off Panama or the Yucatan or into the Bay of Campeche where the warmer temperatures are. Like, take a look at the stocks. Well, crude oil is up and natural gas is down. So, of course, our natural gas stocks are all down. Behind me, CNX here down 1.45%. And everything that's in the green, pretty much Magnolia and Crescent Energy, Northern Oil and Gas because of crude oil strength. So again, recapping here for the spot June natural gas contract, we're currently down to 283.5, down 7.5 cents or 2.58%. A little bit of profit taking here off the 48 period exponential moving average. We do have storage expectations for Thursday centered around plus 85 BCF. That goes up against 109 last year, the 5-year average plus 84. So bullish is expected against last year, but neutral against the 5-year average. So I don't think we're going to get much of a reaction if we do get a plus 85 to 86. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.